Hi YouTube, we're here with a quick refresher on some charging techniques that I want to talk to you guys about. As you know, I use a charger that looks like this to balance charge my little 2S packs, of which I fly 180 milliamp hour 2S packs, which look a little something like this. And they have these e-flite ends, and they look a little bit different than a conventional 2S pack, and so I'll just show you that. A conventional 2S pack, this is like what I use for the Aero Commander, has a hextronic style end. Okay, so you see they have the same number of wires. They may be a different size and gauge of wire, but that's more pertinent on the C rating of the pack. Okay, so when you look at these side by side, they're obviously going to work in different chargers. Okay, if you get them stock, which is what most people do. So if you don't want to use the Selectra charger that comes with it, it's going to have this type of end, which is for the e-flite end batteries, like this, which I believe is JST-PH, and this is just jst-xh 2S, and still 2S. I've built an adapter in mine so I can do either one on my Selectra charger. But this charger sucks. It's not only is it like 35 bucks, which is a huge ripoff, but then you also have to buy one of these, which I got on another application. This happens to be a 1 amp at 12 volts DC from 120 volts AC. If you're over in UK, of course, you guys are going to have 240 or 220, and then you're going to have an adapter that's got less current handling because it's twice the voltage. So the DC input is going to be the same. However, you're going to be running at 12 volts DC at whatever amperage you decide to do, usually 1 or 2 amps, somewhere in that range. Okay, now some of you are using a charger like this, which is perfectly fine. There's a bunch of different brands. This one happens to be from Hobby King. I'll link to all this stuff so you guys can buy all this stuff if you want. But here's what you're getting: 800 milliamp hours output on each of the cells. On this one, you're getting 300 milliamp hours. So even in charging this cell, which is 180 milliamp hours, this is a 25C rated pack. So you should be able to charge it at about double the charge rate and be okay. Now the reason you can say that is because this has 3 leads. It doesn't have a balanced charge port. Sometimes you can charge at higher rates if you parallel charge with this type of charger, where you have a main input and then you have a balancing charger. So you're really just injecting the voltage to the main leads and you balance on the balance ports. In this application, you're always balance charging. Okay, so not to confuse things any more than they already are, if you're charging a big pack like this, which is not really that much bigger, this is 300 milliamp hours compared to 180, you can charge at this rate and be okay. And I've made my adapter so that I can plug this in, even though this has a hextronics end. If this was an e-flite battery, like one of these, the more common ones, or like this, it's actually an e-flite pack, you're going to need the JST-H, not HX. And that'll plug in there, and that'll plug in there. Or you can plug that into a charger like this and charge it. But the problem is this is only 300 milliamp hours, okay? Excuse me, this one's 200 milliamp hours. So if you have a 300 milliamp hour, you're still not good because you're 800 milliamp hours per cell compared to the 300 milliamp hours that this is rated at. So you're gonna be charging at like 2.6 times the speed that this is supposed to be charged at. So technically, the way I would get around that is I would just use a balance charging port, okay? Which is basically going to take the HX style 2S pins, and you see how it's got the 2 plastic things on the top there, as opposed to, I'll show you an example of the other style, of course, as opposed to this, we've just got the 1 instead of the 2, okay? I'll take this, I'll plug this into the charger, which is on the 2S plug. This says it does 2S or 3S. And then as you can see, I've got 2 batteries plugged in here. Okay. And then mine is kind of weird. I usually have to restart it to get it to charge. See how it goes red? That means it's charging these two packs. Now these packs might also be mostly charged. These will turn green when they're charged. Now yours might be a little bit different, but it's going to generically, it's going to be similar anyway. What I far prefer to do rather than using this stuff, because this is actually relatively inexpensive. This is a pretty good value for somebody that's just getting into it, because you can buy this with the appropriate AC cord, whether you're 240 or you're 120. It doesn't really matter. You can get that at your respective retailer. What I'd prefer to do though, is I'd far prefer to take this balance charger and go ahead and unplug this and use this as a true balance charger and do a true parallel charge where I take and I'll plug this either into here for convenience, or I'll plug it into the here. Or if you had the banana jacks that this comes with, you can plug it straight into the ports on there. So I'll fire this up and show you how this works. So you plug your charger in and it comes up. These things are all about the same, okay? They're about a $30 to $50 price point. And you can get them with more wattage. These are a 50 watt output, okay? Or excuse me, yeah, it's 50 watts, but it's only a 5 amp output on this. This one actually, I think it claims to be 6 amps. But anyway, all you have to do is plug this into the appropriate port and then plug in your main leads to the appropriate port. And then you can take up to 6 of these batteries and you can set the charge rate to be exactly right for what you're doing. Now you can technically charge these together if they had the same discharge rate, but they don't. This is 25C and these are 35C. Could you get away with it? Maybe. But what's going to happen is it's going to feed voltage into the 35C prior to getting into this. So we can actually overcharge this and cause a fire condition. So you want to be careful, make sure that your C ratings are the same. Make sure that the general condition of your batteries is the same if you do this. Okay? Now, it's super easy to do this. You'll basically, in this case, because there's no balance plug or no main power lead, all you have to do is put in the balance plug. So once you get those plugged in, let's say I'm just charging this one. This is only a 160 milliamp hour. I'm going to use this huge charger for that? Yes, you are. Okay, so you set it up, turn this all the way down, and I'm going to set it to the lowest setting. I usually like to charge it about half of times charge rate. So if this was 200 milliamps, then I would do 1.1 amp. Okay, and then I'm going to set it to 2S, which is 7.4 volts. And then once I have it set, I'm just going to press and hold. It's going to charge. And it's very simple. And it's just going to charge this thing. And then I can move over to the status. I got to confirm it. And it's going to tell me what the voltage of each of the cells is. So it's 4.14, 4.15, 4.14. And so what's going to happen is as this charges, then I can come back and monitor the voltage. But I would normally not charge just one of these at a time. I would fly through, let's say 6 or 10 of these packs, and then I would just charge the respective sets together. So like for instance, this one doesn't match with these 4. These are kind of my beater packs. And so I would charge only these 2 together, and I would charge this one alone, and I would charge this one alone. So anyway, I know that's a lot to take in. The moral of the story is this. Just because you get those pins to line up the same and you can get the right connector does not mean that you can always balance charge or parallel charge off of this charger. But in our case, you can actually use this device. You'll just have to be careful because when yours comes with the banana plugs on the end, you'll either need to tape over them or cut them off if you're not going to use them. And then you can plug them straight into here. But make no mistake, if you leave those banana plugs exposed and they touch, then you will have a fire you'll be dealing with. So don't do that. That'd be a bad idea. So I'll link to this, something like this. I'll link to this with a cable, and then I'll link to these types of batteries. And again, these are all for the Ultra Micro by e-flite. So hopefully this brings a little bit of clarity to your search for charging needs. And also the thing that's kind of cool if you went this route is you can actually charge your standard 2S and the standard 3S with Hextronic style ends on them. So that works really nice because virtually every other battery is going to have this style of JST-PH. as opposed to the JST-PH. Okay? All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Come back for more. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check the links below. Help support the channel. You can buy from those links. Word of wisdom for you so you can learn from my screw-ups. When you have this charger adapter plugged in for your 2S, if you would happen to have it into a parallel board like this, which is awesome and I highly recommend it, but just be careful when you use them. If you would happen to leave this plugged in, don't accidentally leave it plugged in while you're not using it and then plug in, for instance, a 3S pack. What happens is you will short out your top cell on a 3S pack, and if it's a 4S, you'll short out the top 2, and if it's a 5S, you'll short out the top 3, and if it's 6S, the rationale behind that is because these leads are tied together to the redundant points here. Okay, so be careful. Just one little side note. I'm sorry I forgot to mention that in the body of the video, but I wanted to make sure to mention it now. So now when you get ready to charge one of your big packs, you're not going to accidentally put it in there while this is plugged in, because you will start a small fire and it will be very exciting, and lots of bad words will be slipped out. Thanks for watching, guys. Come back for more. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check the links below. Thanks.